Welcome to day 12 of Masters of the Genius Universe. Wow, we're almost there.
Wherever
Wherever that
there
is,
is.
we shall say something amazing is forming. I see in the Facebook group that today people are sharing what is their mastery and tuning into that and having conversation about that. And it's amazing how that's unfolding and beautiful. I know we said at the end of yesterday's video that we were going to do civilization builders and universe designers, but I think we need one more step before we do that. So hopefully that'll be tomorrow's video. And I think that before we design universes, we need to tap what I would call tap the mind of God, become the dreamers of the dream, and really know how to originate creation. And so I thought we'd do that on today's
That's a fun
video.
thing.
Yeah, it's a fun thing. So I had the experience of touching the mind of God a year ago in Niagara Falls. So it was a year ago, May, when we did our Meg event. And it was quite amazing to me to do that. When I'm talking about the mind of God, what I mean by that, the origination point of possibility, genius, what we can become, that which is waiting to be dreamed into creation. It all sits somewhere. You know, when you reach out to touch genius and possibilities, it's there. It's not in as substantive a form as if it had been named and put into consciousness already, but it's there, waiting. And that's got to have come from someplace, and that just amazes me. So when I touched that place, I was fascinated. And for me to get there, I was kind of on the edges of the universe. It was like I'd gone past where the universe existed and went to the place where the universe or universes were created from, and then related to that as a sentient mind or being. It's funny, the mind of God really works for me in terms of the experience of it, but I'm not attached to the language at all. And I think perhaps it would be good to describe what we think God as a term can mean. And, you know, again, we're not attached to a God as in some kind of faith or religion or spirituality even. It's none of that for me. It's a good word to use to describe forces beyond our reckoning, that which created the cosmoses, that which dreams us into existence. So that's my way of relating to it. Santari, for you, what do you call it? How do you relate to it?
Well, it's terminology, and it's, I guess, based upon your experiences, and I've had my own sets of experiences too. With my term of the word, with my use of the word cosmos, I don't mean universe. I mean the way that I used it at the time it first came to me was about all that had been created, all the universes that had ever been birthed and shaped, designed, and put into existence. And the cosmos was a way of describing that, so that it was a whole thing. And of course, the term of the use of the word cosmos, just like the word God, it's just something that you use to get a picture of and to talk about, and doesn't necessarily pin things in place until you actually start to pin things in place and insist that that is the way it is.
Yeah.
But Cosmos for me has always been this brilliant jewel of everything that had been gifted as knowledge and an understanding and the capacity and the capability to create with power and with thoughtfulness. And I think, you know, when you're talking about that type of thing, you have a relationship to it. And at the time that I was working with the cosmos, It was just very simple for me, because I talked yesterday about mergence, to merge as the cosmos, to feel that I was all of this that I could possibly conceive of, and that it was a living thing. And therefore, when I later considered the term God, it was very natural for me to think about God, and instantly I'm God. Instantly I'm the power of God. And it doesn't matter about gender, female, male, whatever. You're talking about a force with which things are moved and put into creative form. And there's a whole, if you like, vocabulary that you could use about what God is and what God does. But again, we're trying to keep it simple here. What do I mean by God? I mean something which is the power to create and the awareness to understand what it is that you're creating and how you're creating and what it means to create in the first place. It's the same with dragons. What do I mean with dragons? Well, this is just a term that I've given to something that I have a relationship with, which is almost like I'm born of a dragon, but also I birthed the idea of dragon. You know, it's, you might say chicken and egg, but at the same time it's a whole co-established relationship about how you work with, understand and define energy movement and how things are composed and fitted together. And this is the celebration of being able to work in magical, mysterious and fundamentally breathtaking ways from our perspective here. That it's just a delight to get to have these experiences. But at the same time, I know that I'm also a bigger force of creation that sets things in motion, which gives me the chance and opportunity to have these experiences in this place, in this realm, and to be able to language them, and to be able to understand them, and to be able to move them of my own endeavor here also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's kind of like when you relate to the universe, the cosmos, whatever. Is it a dark and empty space of crazy chemical responses, or is it designed by an incredible force which guides its creation? So when you relate to the universe and the cosmos as a sentient being, a force of creation that is guiding the hand of creation, that has a dream of its possibility, then your relationship to everything changes. But what's interesting for me is, I think in the traditional religious sense, at least in the Christian religious sense, I can't speak for others because I don't know them that well, but we're often seen as we're the tiny, we can't know the vastness of God, and he, she, it has all the power, and we can just only help, ask for assistance, and I don't believe that's the way of it at all. I believe that that force lives within us, as well as in everything around us. And when we allow that force to come alive within us, then we become godness walking, and we develop the powers and the abilities to create, but from a phenomenal place of understanding and vastness and awareness and kindness and caring on a whole level that I don't think we really mean in the small c caring kind of way. It's very different. And I don't think you can touch that force without being remodeled by it. I don't think you can do evil with it. I don't think you can get to the place where you're so egotistical and full of it that you think you are God and no one else is. If that's the case, I don't think you've really touched the absolute force of it. I think you're somewhere else doing something different. I don't even know if that can happen today because the force of Godness is so prevalent in the air and in the cells of us that I just don't think you could. I don't think you could avoid it today. I don't think you could fall into anything else but that amazing space.
Well, we've talked previously in other videos about how you don't need the identity. That idea of identity just falls away because you almost like the words you use and the way that you be is guided by a feeling of complete, understanding and desire to have things turn out brilliantly in whatever way and shape and form that would appear to be. So your focus is not upon how you are going to do well in life and how your business is going to prosper and you're going to get millions and be well known, etc. The force isn't dedicated to that pursuit. It is more like engaged with the creative endeavoring of these races of beings who've come together in this place to dedicate themselves and their efforts to the turning out of some part of a game that they are all sharing in the spoils of the endeavor of the experience basically coming alive.
Mm-hmm.
And for me that, when you have people on that line of inquiry and endeavor, then their lives are beautifully orchestrated. They don't have the jostling for look at me, this is what I'm doing next. They're content within themselves by what it is that they're achieving, but at the same time the power that moves through them is almost this guiding influence that manages and makes possible the wonder and the awe and the excitement that it knows people need to feel, that sense of aliveness and that energy of that momentum, because it shifts them to a place where the whole thing becomes more possible and real and attainable. And I think the way that we do that for ourselves when we come together in these collaborative engagements, these events, then we do almost like, because of the focus that we have, we shape and we guide and we transform, the way that the way that these lives are being lived in this world at this moment.
Yeah. Well, after that May 2014 experience, shortly thereafter, it was June the 8th, 2014, I have it here, I wrote something from the mind of God, and I want to read it, and it's about 4 or 5 paragraphs, so it's not short, but, I'll go through it as, not quickly, but, as succinctly as I can. So,
hurry along,
because it relates to the conversation today. So, June the 8th, 2014, this was me bringing through a voice from the mind of God. I am the one who made you and set you on your pathways of exploration. I made you to supersede me, to go beyond me. Why, you might ask, would you not create creation in my image? Where would the fun be in that? The excitement is of how you can go beyond me. That is the question. That is the adventure. That is your reason for being. I made you with eyes to see possibility, and with the drive and desire to enrich possibility, my original conceptions of unmanifest creation, into awesome wonders. This is a playground of creation. You're the kings and queens on the chessboard of that creation. Your moves can take us where we've never been before, for I created you to be my guide into new pathways of possibility, into wonder upon wonder of what life can make of itself. Manifest jewels of creation sparkling in stardust, effervescently lighting up the way into an ever more exhilarating forever. I am ready to turn my force of creation over to you. Are you ready to accept the scepter of wonder and wear the crown of awe? Are you ready to evolve your species, this world, and the universe into limitless, unending creation as the new makers of the living forever? I come to deliver this to you now, and it will be turned over to you fully and completely. And I will have turned over in my sleep and given the dream creation to my dreaming. And then I will rest back into my creation, having achieved what I know is my finest new beginning. From there it is over to you, O great wonder of wonders. How I treasure you, how I wait to awaken again to see what new dreams you have forged. I kiss you with stardust, I embrace you with a universe in creation. I charge you with the living force of creation to create like never before. And so a new forever is begun. Enjoy the living dance of your own dreaming.
Beautifully said.
Isn't that lovely? Yeah. Just came straight through just after, about a couple of weeks after I had touched the mind of God. And I would say in the last year, that's a lot of what we've been doing. Even in the last year and a half for me and a lot of the people in the network, we've been embodying the godness in ourselves. So taking downloads and bringing up, awakening that within us and bringing that up to meet it so that we're shaping ourselves as a new godness, a new race of possibility. And that's been really exciting. So interestingly enough, this morning, this is April 11th, 2015, when I was doing the 10 o'clock consciousness link up for the Masters of the Genius Universe series, again, a whole other piece came to me, which was I was thinking about tapping the mind of God and becoming the dreamer of the dream. And I experienced that being that wrote the previous piece exploding into everything and everyone. I experienced that myself. It just exploded into me. And I knew that it was now passed over to us fully, that we are now the dreamers of the dream, creating itself into reality at a universal and cosmic level. Wow.
Dreamers of the dream. I was reminded as you were saying that we had a moment back, I think in probably 1998, where we were talking about designing the new man and the new woman. I don't know if you remember that. And I wrote a piece about the new man, and it was also talking about how we shared the dream between us. So that has correlation for me, that the dream has been carefully husbanded, if you like, and preserved and given a chance to breathe and to grow until it could in its own way be as fully established in this realm and be given its own life. So I can completely get what you're saying there.
Yeah. I'll just read, this is just a couple of sentences about what I wrote this morning that came from the same voice. I explode the power of myself into creation, that every being has my power to touch the wonders that lie within everyone and everything, that the miraculous force of life superseding itself a millionfold is inbuilt into the design of you and us. There lies in every creature, in every creation, an exponential design as yet unfolded. The design does not see or know its outcome, but its outcome waits to exist. It is the artist who takes the design and articulates it into something more than it was meant to be. It is this artistry that you are inhabiting. Genius creators awakening and painting into reality the exponentiality of that which lies waiting inside every creation. It is a never-ending exponentiality, for every artist will build upon that exponentiality of the previous artists. And so you will become a race of genii gods painting wonders across the sky. And that's why I thought we needed to do Tapping the Mind of God, Becoming the Dreamers of the dream today. Those things pointed me to it. So I think what we'll do is we'll take everyone to experience their own sense of Godness, to tap the place, the mind, the beingness of original creation, that place where possibilities come from, and to find for themselves their part in the dream which is as yet undreamed. Okay?
I think you should lead it.
I'll start it, pick it up wherever you feel is right for you. How's that? So I have the feeling you'll bring such force to it. There may even be a song
That's what I was thinking too.
with it. That would be amazing, because I think this requires a kind of super duper extra whopper special.
With a cherry on the top.
With a cherry on the top. What's the Virgin had? The mojo of Knickerbocker. Dig deep into the mojo of Knickerbocker glory.
Get yourself a long spoon.
That's what we're about to do. So get ready. Okay, it's great to laugh as you start to connect with these things and not take them all serious and significantly, even though they are profoundly, breathtakingly marvelous and awesome and wondrous. And feel that connection to the awe and wonder of that which the universe is, that creation which awaits our artistic genius to bring it into its exponentiality, its fruition of the dream as yet undreamed. And the dream is a song that soars in the spaces around you, that lives in the universe, that lives in your cells, that waits for the song to awaken it into shimmering wonder after wonder, breath after breath, awe after awe. And if you just let your awareness just kind of slide out into the edges of that which is and that which is waiting to be, and let it slide into the place where all that was birthed into possibility, and you touch the mind, the being of the original creator, the source, the God, the being that is all of life breathing itself. And you awaken it within you. And if you need to call it into you, do that. And if you need to call it up from you, do that. Whatever your dance with it is, follow the flow of that now. And I hear this voice say, I am the limitless creator of wonder. And I am ready to take you into the knowing of your part in the dreaming, of knowing how to dream and undream and dream again. And I feel, Santari, like there's a song waiting, so if you can pick that up and sing it, that would be wonderful.
I would probably call it and dedicate it Dreaming with Open Eyes.
Okay, great.
It says to me that you'll always be awake and that you'll always be alert, and you won't drift off into an unconscious sleep where you forget yourself and where you forget where you've come from, or where you forgot the dream itself. But you will always be awake, aware, and vigilant to what lives inside you forever.
And it was inside me. I found I didn't have to go out to it. And I knew why, because I coached someone the other day. Amazing what happens in coaching calls. And this person had a direct connection to the pure space of Godness, the original place. And when we were working together, we found ourselves calling that pure mind of Godness, that pure space of Godness, into all life. And so when I went to do this in the song, I found it within. And it burst up in me. It reminded me of one of Fleur's paintings, those beautiful little white creatures that come up out of the foreverness within and just rise into new beingness. And then I took the song and I reached it out with you and with all of us and powered it into everyone and everything everywhere. That force of dreaming was awake in us and conscious in us and powered in us. And it seems to be a part of us now, natural. Wow, beautiful, beautiful song, Santari, thank you.
Yes, nice, pure, vibrant notes. That's what I like.
Yeah, it's lovely. It's absolutely lovely.
Well, as you said, you have probably noticed I've been physically feeling better ever since the announcement that I'm going to the hospital to get my wisdom tooth extracted. And I just, pass that as comment that to be able to do these things, sometimes it takes a complete physical overhaul. And the clearing my throat for 3 years on the trot allows me to get to this state of vocal performance.
Yeah, brilliant.
Everything is there for a purpose.
Yeah. Well, I feel as if the place where possibilities are created, now that ability, that power, that dreaming exists inside of us, linked as part of us, and every one of us. And so, when I named today Tapping the Mind of God, Becoming the Dreamers of the Dream, I think that now we can go build civilizations and planets and universes and design them from the place of the dreaming and what's possible in that. And I'm excited to see what that will look like when we take off the cap of this is how it is and we're going to create some improved version of it. What's possible as dreamers of the dream. Wow. Amazing. I love it.
Sounds like a good book to be written.
Yes.
Nudge, nudge.
Yes, it does, for sure. So, I would just say before we wrap this particular call up, if everyone who's watching this can just make your relationship with yourself, with that power and ability that is within you, as the originator of the dreaming, as the dreamer of the dream being geniusly, artistically fabricated into reality throughout the world and the universes. That we have been gifted an amazing gift, a masterful gift that is ours to paint wonders and awe across the stars, across the galaxies, and see what we can make of that. Wow. That's just what a way to live a life. It's amazing. That would be it for me today. For you, Center?
Well, I don't think I can really improve upon what's been said or sung, except to follow the next instalment. Who knows where that will go?
Tomorrow, civilization builders and universe designers.
Can hardly wait. I might do a universe just in my sleep, though.
Well, do you know what's fascinating? I mean, this video is day 12. We've got 15 days of this. And you can feel the mastery growing in all of us that are engaged with this. You can feel something new coming into being, and us as a collective, as a Genius Universe collective, getting ready to power something. So I have the feeling in the last day or two that we will probably be bringing the force of our collectiveness into mega creation to see what that brings. Can hardly wait. Wow.
That's my line.
So, enjoy being the dreamers of the dream today.
Well, that's it from us for now. So, see you tomorrow. Bye for now.
Bye.